It's selfish to not share incredible people with others. It takes undeniable talent, hard work, and a lot of motivation to turn your dream into your reality. People put here to inspire and tell their story. Although the journey is just the beginning, it is the foundation. Come into a world where passions are fueled and success spills over, incapable of being limited or bounded. This is The Ill Table. Nakia Stephens is not even 25 yet and making major strides in the film and television industry. You can't deny her black girl magic. The creator and chief of content for DamnWriteOriginals is just getting started. We'll learn more about Nakia Stephens when we come back.
At least he's consistent. Oh well, it's like he plays a game of checkers with my heart. At least he's consistent. Oh yeah. And though I knew he was, he could be.
Hi, I'm ShellyNicole, and this is The Ill Table. I'm here with Nakia Stephens, extraordinary screenwriter. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just jump right into it. Okay. So you are a screenwriter,
I am.
right?
ScreenwritHER.
ScreenwritHER.
Mhm.
Her. Yes. So
She is.
why is that important for you to add that extra her part? Why do you think that's important?
I just, first of all, growing up, I really didn't even know what a screenwriter was. I didn't really hear much of that occupation. And then when I did, I saw mostly white men screenwriters. So now that I'm pursuing screenwriting, I wanted to make sure people know that I'm a screenwriter. You know, Black Girl Magic.
Right, Black Girl Magic, right.
That's it.
So what has some of your battles been with actually that her part? Because I'm sure there are some.
I haven't, honestly, I work in my own zone, in my own, light, so that hasn't really been my major issue. It's really, just being black, pretty much, and trying to tell our stories as African Americans, and just sharing, I guess, women in a light. So I guess the her hat does come in.
Right.
We want to share women in a light that represents them fully. We don't always have to have stories about women being the prostitutes or the sex symbols, or, you know what I mean? We could be like superheroes, we could be bosses, you know? So thanks to Shonda Rhimes, now we kind of have those characters, those boss biddies. So yeah.
So speaking of that and bringing the black girl's story to light, you have your Cream and Coffee, what series,
It's
short
a web
film,
series.
web series,
Mhm.
right? So you raised a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, how was that process, and were you nervous? And most people don't reach those numbers. So tell me a little bit more about that.
If anybody ever pursues crowdfunding, it's stressful.
Okay.
So I just had a conversation with someone yesterday. They prematurely launched a crowdfunding program.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I wish they would have told me, because I know how much stress it is. You have to study crowdfunding. It's really a psychological thing. It doesn't matter if you have 60,000 followers or so many friends and so many family members. It really doesn't matter, because you think that you can count on these people to give you coins, and you're going to find out very fast you're going to sit there and only have $100 for 30 days. So it just took a lot of planning, a lot of studying. I can't even tell you how many podcasts I listened to try to make sure my promotions was on point and everything like that. But we raised over $7,000, and it was cool. I felt good. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Even days I was stressful, today we only made $300 and our goal was $800. Oh my God. So it was stressful, but at the end, I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the people who supported us, and I'm just proud of the work we did.
Right. So that $7,000 went towards cream and coffee. I want to say time. I was thinking about the
People
extra thing,
always
right?
say it's cool if you want to remember how to type it.
So give me a little more details. I was watching it. I like the beginning setup, kind of doesn't really give too much, kind of sets the characters, that type of thing. But tell me what made you go from that actually perspective, like interracial dating, not just like the black girl and black woman interaction? What made you want to do the interracial dating and show that light?
I had a conversation with my friend. I mean, really, screenwriting is really just observing everyday life. So I had a conversation with one of my friends, and she's dating. Well, she was dating a white guy. I ain't gonna say that name. That's their business. But she was dating a white guy, and this was around the time of the Mike Brown situation.
Okay.
So we were just having girl talk, blah blah blah, and I'm like, so how are you and your boyfriend? You know, your boo and whatever. And she's like, she just kind of like broke down, and I'm like, oh, I don't do well with people lying from me either. So I'm like, oh, what's wrong?
Right.
And so she's like, it's been great up until the point where injustices come in towards black people. Like, I don't think he gets it. And she's like, I just realized now that we can never be together because he doesn't understand it. And so I was like, dang, we've been together for 3 years. That's deep, you know? Yeah. So I just took that situation, and I wanted to see how it would be for a pro-black girl who's really invested in her community to even think about dating outside of her race. Like, how that would be, how her friends would react, how her family would react, how would people react who hold her to a high regard, like in the African American community, because people might see her as like a hypocrite or, you know, whatever.
Right.
But, so I just took that idea, and I was like, okay, and then I just went to work.
Nice. So with this, do you already have the story completed from beginning to end, or are you still developing it? Can it change, or like where are you at as far as this actual?
So no, it's done. I mean, we've already shot all 10 episodes.
Awesome.
I like to write first. I learned from past experiences that you should probably go ahead and write everything, film everything, and then put it out. So everything's already written. It's 10 episodes. So the story is pretty much already complete. We're already working on season 2.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're casting for something like this, do you go to your friends? Do you feel like you can't do that because you want to be professional? Mm-hmm. What's that process like?
Oh no, I'm 100% professional. My friends be like, oh, throw me in something. I'm like, oh, you can be an extra, like sitting in a cafe. Like, no, I work with people who are really pursuing this as a career because they're more passionate about it. And not saying that you can't find people who aren't, you know, actresses who will do a good job. I've had like people just say one-liners that aren't necessarily pursuing acting, but I want to show the people who are actually pursuing this because we're helping each other build. You know what I mean? Right. I wouldn't reach out to somebody who just take pictures on their iPhone to take my headshots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's the same thing with acting. I'm gonna get actors, and I'm gonna get the best ones.
Nice. So I was reading that you transitioned like out of a career or something like that to actually get more into your screenwriting. So tell me more about that and what brought that on, because I feel like as people, when we get into these creative realms and we actually start pursuing these actual dreams, we kind of have to leave like a security. So what was your security that you left that brought you here?
I mean, the dream has always been screenwriting.
Okay.
So when I graduated, I went to Africa. My last year in college, I was in Africa, came back, graduated from college, and then I moved straight to LA to like learn a little bit. Nice. And I came back to Atlanta to film. And I had gotten a job at a corporate, you know, place, thinking, okay, I can do the corporate thing, get my checks, use those checks to make my dreams come true, which that is true for most people, but it just didn't really work for me. 5 months in, I was like, I can't do this. I don't have time to write. Like, so how am I going to make my dream come true? I'm just bringing in checks, but I don't have anything to create. I have no content. So for me, it just wasn't working. So for some people, I mean, they can do it and balance it well, but I feel like I was doing myself a disservice by not giving my 100% to what I want to do. You know what I mean? Awesome. So I had to make that decision. It's been hard. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and people think it's just easy. It's hard to know. So yeah, that's that.
So how old are you?
I'm 24, 25, 12, 21.
Yes. Okay. That's my best friend's birthday.
Is
December
it?
21st?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So being 24 and already knowing your dreams, pursuing your dreams, already knowing that this is not easy, already knowing that this is, you know, what are you looking forward to? And are you scared?
I don't think I'm scared. I think I'm anxious. You know, it sometimes like when you know that you can be great and you kind of like see where you're gonna be and see like the kind of life you're gonna live, it's frustrating
to not be there.
Yeah, and you like, oh, like while you're working your way up, or if any hurdles you have to cross, you like, okay, I mean, what else am I gonna have to jump over? Because I know I'm gonna be popping, I know I'm gonna be great.
Right.
This is gonna go in my True Hollywood story that I had to deal with this, that, and the third. So I don't think it's fear. It's just like sometimes you get anxiety or you get very frustrated because you're like, am I on the right path? You know what I mean? So it's like you know where to get, but it's like your GPS is like taking you on all these different routes, and you're like rerouting what's happening. So it's not really fear. And being young, I don't know, it used to discourage me because people would take you serious and then they're like, oh, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm 22.
Right.
They're like, oh. I'm like, oh, you wasn't just saying, oh, a few minutes ago when you wanted to work with me. So, but now I say my age with pride. Like, I'm like, I'm 24.
And I'm popping.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So I feel like that, you know, being young, you still have a lot of room to grow. And I kind of have an advantage because I've started so early, and I tried, and from the jump, I've tried to be as professional as I could be. So, yeah, I'm just kidding. I'll try to get better day by day.
Tell me, where did the coffee and cream? I get it, but is it as literal as we think? What is the coffee and the cream?
It's not even that deep. Coffee, the black girl, cream, the white guy, that's it. You know, I just tried to be I didn't want to be right on the nose with things. So most of my titles of like, most of my projects are very like ambiguous. I had muse, I had sugar water, cream and coffee. So yeah.
What do you think is missing in film in today's society?
Just like authenticity, pretty much, and like real characters and representation. Like I spoke about earlier, like women don't always have to be sex symbols. You know, we can be real characters in real life because that's how we are in the real world.
Right.
So, and then people thinking outside the box. Like, I just challenged all these directors and all these screenwriters, like, do more. So we're tired of seeing the same old kind of love stories. We're tired of seeing the same old horror films. Like, do more. Like, think on a wider scale. So I think we need a little bit more creativity, a lot of bit more representation, and a little bit more like raw authenticity. Like, I watch stuff all the time. I'm like, people don't talk like that, or you know, what I mean?
Yeah, this is not real.
This isn't real at all. So I just want more real in TV.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Be sure to catch Her Realness, Cream and Coffee, search it, the Muse, right, and sugar water. Be sure to catch all of those. We'll be right back after this break.
I had a one-night stand with a white guy. No, you know you could have told me a better lie than that. So, you, Mrs. Pro-Black Everything, Mrs. I wear Bantu knots to pay homage to my people, Mrs. I only celebrate Kwanzaa because white saints ain't doing it. You did it with a white guy?
Y'all know I am not down for the swirl.
So what do you need?
I need
Zeke.
Oh, so we look like we'll be a foodie.
Then I can't leave him alone. They say you're no good, but damn no good to me. Tell me you're not the same scat.
But I kind of like Zeke though. I mean, y'all should work it out.
Dion, fuck!
After it's all
Okay, everybody out.
Welcome back to the Ill Table. I'm your host, ShellyNicole, and I'm here with Nakia Stephens, screenwrither. So we're going to talk more about what's going on in our Black community. I'm sure you heard of Sandra Bland, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Sandra Bland was a 28-year-old woman found dead in a jail cell in Texas on July 13, 2015. Her death was classified as a suicide. Bland had been pulled over for a minor traffic violation on July 10th by a state trooper. He arrested her, and it escalated to conflict, and she was assaulted. It was recorded all on the dash cam, of course, as we know, and she was arrested and found dead, and they were going to suicide. The guy was placed on administrative leave for failing to follow proper or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm here with you today because I just want to, what is that, as a screenwriter, mm-hmm. we're talking about Sandra Bland. How does that make you feel?
As a human being, it
right.
just makes me feel, I mean, you're upset, you get angry, you're saddened that's the only repercussion, for the officer. It's really draining at this point, emotionally, to keep hearing stories that are so similar and outcomes that are so similar. So it just makes me want to make sure to preserve those type of stories so that people know, like, these are real people. This is their story. This is their situation. This is how we feel. I feel like film and TV kind of bring, even though it's fictional, most times it brings more understanding to certain situations. There's been plenty of films that I've watched and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that place looked like that, or oh, I didn't know those type of people did this, or these race of people did this, or in this country. So I feel like I've learned so much through television and film because it's universal.
Right.
When I've traveled so much, and people, when I was in Africa, I lived there for 6 months.
Oh, nice.
So when I said I was from Atlanta, they were like, oh, Tyler Perry? I'm like, no. Okay. He's like, no, the people, they dressed up in their dress. And I'm like, okay. So that's why we need more things
right.
on the TV, because when you go to other countries, they're going to think whatever is on TV, that's how African Americans are, or that's how women are, or that's how this, that, and the third, because that's where most people never get to come to a certain place. So that's where they learn. So I feel like real life stories like this need to be told. Representation of all sorts of people need to be told, and not just from one place. So yeah, it's definitely, it just encourages me. It makes me want to work harder in what I'm doing.
Awesome. We'll be right back.
The police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern.
And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community, exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is well dressed or whether he is poorly dressed, whether he is educated or whether he is dumb, whether he's a Christian or whether he's a Muslim. As long as he is black and a member of the Negro community, the white public thinks that the white policeman is justified in going in there and trampling on that man.
Welcome back to the Ill Table. I'm your host, ShellyNicole, and I'm here with Nakia Stephens, screenwriter. Mm-hmm. So let's have a little fun. Okay. You said your birthday was December 21st, right?
Oh my gosh. This is a birthday book. I'm gonna tell you.
Let's see. You are very optimistic, original in your ideas, mm-hmm. determined, shrewd, and preserving. And you usually carry out your plans to successful completion. You have many real friends and few enemies. You are domestic, fond of children, mm-hmm. demonstrative in your love, and generally cheerful.
Yeah. Yay.
Accurate?
They me.
Okay.
That is, I need to get that book so I can read people before,
What's up?
Like, hey, I want to be your friend when your birthday.
I'll open it up.
Okay.
We're sitting here a year from today.
No.
What will we be celebrating? And tell these people.
Okay, so a year from today, so it will be 2017, we will be celebrating the success of my web series, Cream and Coffee, first season. We will be celebrating the start of the second season, and we will also be celebrating the start of 2 other projects that I have. And probably a whole bunch of other stuff, because, I like to do a lot of different things, unpredictable, so you'll just have to see. And I'm gonna be waiting. Yeah, we're gonna throw confetti, pop champagne. Okay, so be sure that you guys follow Nakia. Make sure you follow Cream and Coffee and stay updated to all the new things that she's dropping. And thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. See you guys. All right. See you guys later. Have a good one.
For more info on the guest featured today, visit theilltable.com and itsshelly.com.